Okay, I've got a torpedo here that I've modelled to go with the submarine on the cover disc, and I'm going to demonstrate animating it travelling through the water from the submarine. So what we're going to do is set up some particles to emit, suggesting the appearance of air bubbles set up by turbulence from the propeller. First thing I'm going to do is actually make the propeller rotate. So with the rotation tool selected at frame 0, I'm going to add a keyframe, and then at frame 25 I'm going to give it a full 360 degrees rotation. Switch to the timeline, and on that keyframe I'm going to set the interpolation to linear, and that gets rid of any unnecessary motion smoothing. Okay, the next thing to do is to create a motion clip of that. Let's just select the whole torpedo group. 0 to 24 because we don't want the extra frame at the end. And back in the timeline, select the motion clip, and we'll make it loop. I'm going to say 10 for now. Don't know how many times we'll need it, but that'll do for now. Let's just make sure that works. Yeah. Okay. Right, I'm going to add a particle emitter, standard size, standard one. I'm going to scale it down. Move it to approximately where the propeller is. I'm going to set that to emit 500 particles, obviously at least in the render, probably more than that. Oops, say 500. I don't know when I want that to stop. Lifetime certainly going to be shorter than that, probably 60 frames. Speed maybe 30. Variations, give it 25% variation, and lifetime variation same again. End scale, I want the particles to be a fraction of their original size. Looks about okay. Obviously, because it's coming off a rotating propeller, we need some rotation, so we can add a rotation object. Scale that down as well. And the fall off on that, I'm going to switch to linear. The reason being that I place the red plane basically where the particles emit at their most rotational, and then by the yellow plane that rotation will fall off. Calm down, so I might need to strengthen that, lengthen that a little bit. That's good. I think let's just see about the length of time. Yeah, seems to be a little bit extreme. So maybe let's try it. That's more like it, I think. Cool. Okay, the next thing I'm going to add is a gravity effector. Not because I want anything to look like the particles are falling off, but to quite the opposite. I want to make them rise up. I'm going to put in a minus figure, set that to infinite, and that should help suggest that the air bubbles are floating up to the surface. Once they start to lose a bit of momentum. Okay, the next thing I need is a turbulence effector. Now turbulence is simply just going to make the particles a little bit less predictable, makes them slightly more erratic, and makes them wander out a little bit more. Just looks more natural. So what I'm going to do is reduce the rotation of that, the speed down a little bit. I'm going to increase the speed. Better. Okay, and all that remains now is to create a particle to go in there. So what I'm going to use is a light set to visible, but I don't need it to emit any light at all, so turn off no illumination, just switch those off to be sure, and change the scale to about 0.5. Just going to move that in, see how big that actually is. Pretty small, that's good. Stick that in the emitter. Do a quick render, see what that looks like. Looks pretty good. You can see they get smaller and taper off a little bit. I think what I need to do is obviously have an awful lot more of those. I think probably I should give it something like that in the end. I'm just going to try a few more in here, see if the viewport can take it. Oh yeah, that looks a bit more convincing. Pretty good. So all that remains to do actually is to drop these objects into the torpedo group. What we can do is turn off visibility on those. Not the emitter, obviously. Turn that off. And it's ready to go. Okay, now this can be copied and pasted into the subscene. So I'm just doing a copy, move to the subscene, and pasting it in. And because I'd already got the torpedo, I'd set it up to fit into the torpedo tubes, so I can use that to transfer the position of this one. So select the first one, go to Functions, Transfer, and then select the torpedo. I can delete that one. And then our animated one is in our scene. Let's turn the submarine back on. And what we're going to need to do here is obviously continue to animate. So for this, obviously what I would do is move the torpedo back out of view, set a keyframe, and then let's say frame, well, I'll do it at the end there. We'll have set the torpedo right out here, and then that's the effect you get. Okay, I'm just going to do a quick render for you as well, so you can see what it looks like when kind of finished. Obviously I shall go on past this tutorial and animate the submarine moving and create a finished scene. But it's useful to know that the standard particle emitters and effectors in cinema are actually very, very good, very effective, very easy to use. Far less complicated than thinking particles, but with a little bit of creativity you can create an abundance of nice little effects to liven up your animations, as well as stills. They can be used for all sorts of things. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that, and I'm sure we shall be doing another one of these at some point soon.